You're to blame for the good things in my life. You're the reason I turn on. You're the reason I turn that back off. It's your fault, Lord. Oh, you're to blame. Well, hello. Hi. I did see you there. Yeah, I knew it the whole time. It's been an interesting life. I gotta say, I'm glad I'm living it. So, the title of this, I don't know what it is yet because I haven't made it up yet, but it's something about going for it. I'm guessing, since that's what I'm planning to talk about. Life is interesting. There's the rule in, I don't know, there's a rule, I don't know, maybe an executive order, but there's this rule in theater that you got to go for it, all right? And you break a leg, well, maybe that's Nancy Kerrigan's advice, or Tanya Harding, whatever. There's this rule in acting that you got to go for it. A nervous actor makes the audience nervous. All right, and people don't like that. People want confidence. People, as the saying goes, people are fickle. But the other saying I was thinking about was there's nothing that succeeds like success. All right, people want people on stage to be confident. They want to enjoy that confidence. They want to participate. I know when I watch a movie where somebody's nervous or having a hard time, it's hard to watch. Even if it's on purpose, it's interesting. So this Sunday, I had the Farell family over again, and I don't know why they put up with me. Well, we'll see. But they came over, and I want to do a shout out to my man Christopher Farell, who's like doubled my YouTube subscriptions in like a week. So man, I should pay you. I'm not really going to pay you, but I should pay you. But I'm going to give you a shout out instead, so that'll make us even. Anyway, so we're out there, and the little kids were in the pool, and I came out there. Then we'd eaten lunch, and my pizza was still hadn't digested yet, so it's not safe. Okay, never go anywhere near water ever. Food, yeah, whatever, food thing. My pool's not that deep. But anyway, so I'm out there, and one of the kids says, "Hey, jump in." And I got my church clothes on, my 3-piece suit, almost like this, but nicer. And I'm like, something just snapped, maybe. Maybe that's the appropriate word. But something in me, I was like, why not? Why not? I'm just going to go for it. So I jumped in the pool, and I still had my shoes on. Now, I was smart enough to take my wallet out of my wallet. My wallet out of my wallet. I have two wallets. I put them one inside the other there. No, my wallet out of my pocket. Don't know where I put it. But anyway, it didn't get wet, so that's the important thing. And I didn't have my phone, but I left my shoes on. I jumped in the pool, and you know what? I was like, that was kind of fun. I don't know. Life is nice, right? But it's also too short to live it trying to please everyone's expectations, trying to reach everybody, trying to at least that's what I was thinking. I was in the air about to hit the water, and it reminded me of a time when I was wee high to a grasshopper, barely up to my father's kilt. No, I was actually about 30 years old at the time, 35, whatever. And I was a youth leader in this youth group. Okay, I was in the youth group, but whatever. But anyway, I was involved. No, okay, I was a youth leader. And there's this kid in our youth group, Richie. Hey, Richie, if you're watching this. By the way, he survives, because I'll have to tell you, he got cancer, and that sounded really. That was not a great transition, but and we prayed in our church. I was involved in that, and a number of people prayed, and we got, and so I was really proud of how the church kind of rallied around him. And, I was in one of the leaders of the youth group, and I talked to the youth pastor, and I was like, hey, you know what we should do? We should cut off our hair. We should, maybe I just wanted an excuse, right? But we should cut off our hair in solidarity with Richie. And I talked to some of the kids in the youth group, I talked to the youth pastor, and everybody was like, eh. And so I didn't do it. And at the time I was like, I should do this, this is, and that's one of those regrets I have, that I didn't cut my hair off. I mean, I would have grown back by now, but sometimes in life you just got to go for things and let the cards fall where they may, or the hair, or whatever. are falling in the pool. I mean, anyway, so that's what this video is about. So I'm going to go to my little intro here. My name is Philip Fanstill, and this is the philipfiles. It's named after myself, egomaniac. Okay, so, well, it would be kind of awkward if I'd called it like the Bob Files, because who's Bob, right? What about Bob? I mean, where's Bob? Oh, my friend Bob. Hey, shout out. Okay, so I'm going to do a lot of name dropping today. Where did I put that? Oh, there you go. Okay, so going for it. And actually, when we were, my friends were over here, I was talking to them about kind of some personal decisions I've made, and one of them is I would rather be wrong doing things the way I feel God's telling me to do it than to be right doing it the world's way. And I know that's a little crazy, but there's just something in me. I'm like, you got one chance. And I think I mentioned this as well. In life, you can fail doing it somebody else's way, or you can fail doing it your way. And then, I don't want to fail either way, but if I'm going to fail, I want to fail trying to please other people and doing it. No, wait, that's not what I said. Right. If I'm going to fail, I want to fail doing it my way, because at least, as Frank Sinatra said, well, I'm old. No, wait, that's not the song. I don't know many Frank Sinatra songs. Sammy Davis. Oh, no, okay, I know. No, I did it my way. There's a way that seemeth right into a man. That verse just kind of sunk my whole argument here. But there's a way that seemeth right into a man, but there are other ways of death. Dude. But anyway, well, that's not really but there is a way. And so I think as Christians, we kind of have to go back to what God's kind of have to. We don't have to, I guess. We can kind of be the prodigal son and go our own way. Don't think that will come back in later. But, there's a lot in the Bible. In other news, there's this concept in the Bible that the man plans his step, but the Lord directs his path. And again, my friend Mike, our Mr. Farell, mighty man of valor. I just looked that up last night. Actually, Christopher and I are emailing, and I looked that up. I don't know why. I just felt like it. Felt like a Wikipedia search. And what was he saying? Oh, yes. He used to tell me this growing up, or when I was growing up. He was already old, but yeah. He was telling me when I worked with him in Indonesia and went on some trips and all this kind of stuff. This is why I got the shirt, by the way. I keep everything. Yeah, thank you very much. And he said one of the things that kind of stuck with me is, don't touch that. But the other thing he said that stuck with me was, it's easier to direct or to steer a moving car. And I brought that up the other day, and they said, oh, he says a boat. Well, boat or car, whatever. It's easier to steer if you're going. And I think as Christians, there's something in the Bible about presumption. And that actually, from what I'm reading, and maybe I'm way off here, but it's actually encouraged. I mean, the lady that goes through the crowd and touches the hem of the robe of Jesus, she's praised for that. And the presumption. I'm going to do a men's group at some point, or a group of men, or women, I don't really care, but some people, and I'm going to call it the roof rippers. Right. So, roof rippers, right? No, alliteration, man. You gotta, but those 4 men that took their friend on, the paralyzed man, and went to the roof and ripped open the roof. And I've heard sermons on this, but the things of the tiles and this the hay, all this stuff's falling down in the middle where Jesus is teaching, and these men rip open the roof. Structural damage, risking a lawsuit to lower their friend who's paralyzed, and they're praised for it, and God heals their friend. I think there's something so powerful about people that will go for it. Will just go for it. And I think when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about Robin Williams. Now, Robin Williams was a very deep man, with a Good Will Hunting and a number of movies where he's just very deep and contemplative. and this is kind of a trait of a melancholy person. They can be really deep, but Robin Williams also had this frenetic, crazy. I mean, you see Aladdin, but there's a lot of other stuff. It's just awesome, just humor, just Prince Ali type stuff. Mighty is he. But anyway, Ali Ababa. Strongest 10 regular men, definitely. He chased the girl up in Hood. 100 bad guys with swords. Who sent the guns to our Lord? What? Prince Ali. I don't know why I sang that. But anyway, so he would go for it. Robin Williams would go for it. And good comics and good stand-up. I have a friend, Mark Steele, who I need to call. But anyway, another name drop. There, count them up. And I remember watching the funniest thing ever. He did this Whitney Houston song. I forget the name of the song, but he just went for it. It was like a karaoke type, but he was just doing the actions and stuff. Hilarious. If I can find that on YouTube, I'm going to put a link to it. Hilarious. I mean, I think I peed. That's private, thank you very much. But anyway, during that song, it's just so funny. It was just, but you go for it. Sometimes you got to just go for things. So what I was saying earlier about, in life there's a trap that we can fall into. I think the Bible calls it the fear of man. Okay, where we want people to like us. And because we want people to like us, we hold back. We draw back. And we go for the praise of men or the acceptance of men and women. We want people to like us. I learned an interesting thing in the 14 years of teaching. Actually, I learned it pretty early on. It didn't really stick, but I knew it's kind of like one of those things intellectually, but emotionally it's not quite there yet. I did not care what my students, I did not teach to be my student's friend. And I actually told them that sometimes when they were offended. They're like, what, you don't want to be our friend? I'm like, no, it's not my job. I'm not here to be your friend. I didn't care what my students think or thought or think it did. All right? I didn't. And the ironic thing is, my students loved me. The kids really liked being in my class. I mean, I actually had kids choosing my class when they could have gone to band, choir. They chose a science class. I taught like a science exploratory elective. And kids actually chose that class over band and choir and art and computers. They chose another science class. That was, I still think, I can't believe any of them did that, but it was pretty cool. But here's the point. I did not care what they thought, but I did a good job. And I loved my students. And that sounds really creepy. Well, no, I did. I loved my students. Can't really say that in public school. Everybody's like, ooh. But no, I really cared for them. I wanted their best. And I think they knew that. And that's why they responded. And because I wasn't trying so hard. I didn't try. I mean, I worked hard, okay, but I didn't try to get their approval. And so because I didn't try it, I got it, And then now, the interesting thing, I've always struggled with the approval of my peers, people my own age and people that I've struggled with. And that's what I've really wanted over the years. And that is elusive. I don't know what the lesson is there, but what were we talking about? Oh, going for it. Sometimes you just got to go for it and not care what people think. That's where it is. Yeah, I see that connection now. You got to just go for it. You got to, now you need to be correctable and directable and all that by God. And if you're doing something that you're going for that's not so good, maybe, read the Bible or something. But, listen. But as far as like when you feel like God's telling you to do something, like I was saying, I'm going for it, like these YouTubes. I'm going to make these. And Christopher is going to be my social media marketer. And we're going to go from 20 to 30. I'm setting the bar really high. But, you got to go for it and come what may, right? There's another quote. In other news. The other quote, yeah. He who hesitates is lost. And I think what happens with a lot of us, because of fear, we hold back. And we don't rip open the roofs. We don't cut through the crowd to touch the hem of his garment. We draw back. And there's again, faith. Faith is a concept I've struggled with my whole life. But this idea, the Bible says, without faith it is impossible to please God. It's impossible to please God. For he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. faith is presumption. And a lot of, in Christianity nowadays, if you pray for somebody or you say something and you presume to know what God's will is, people say you're presumptuous and people mock you. And it's like, wait a second. John and Peter, when they were walking through a gate, beautiful, they don't go to the guy sitting there and say, silver and gold have we none, but we're going to pray for you and we're going to hope. And maybe if it's the Lord's will, No, they knew what was going to happen. They presumed. Elijah did the same thing on Mount Carmel and Carmel. And they presumed. And that's the cool thing about Elijah. I mean, if you study this guy, and I think I mentioned this in a video a while back, shoot fly. He called that it would not rain. God never told him that, or at least the Bible doesn't say. We don't know. Maybe God told him. But he read in Deuteronomy where it says, if a nation's ways displease the Lord, the rain will dry up. It won't rain. So Elijah reads that and he presumes. He's presumptuous. Presumptuous little twerp, right? But the Bible actually encourages presumption. Now it encourages, correctability as well and teachability and yada, yada, yada. Okay, but when we are going for what we think God is calling us to do, we got to go for it. We got to jump in the pool with your church shoes on. Take out your phone first, or at least make it waterproof. But then don't lose your wallet. But sometimes we just got to go for it. Sometimes we just got to shave our head. Well, not now, but got to go for it. So, since I am all about practicing what I preach, I'm going to end this little video with a little ditty. Oh, I'm just thinking of a song off the top of my head. A little ditty by Keith Green. Okay. Done hoeing. It's farming for those non-agricultural types. Out in the field for a day. I was thinking of going. I had to leave right away. Some other words go right here. And I saw my father in his room reading a book, a holy book. And I wanted to hold him. But then I just wasn't there. And I said, Father, there's so much to see. There's a world to see. And I'm ready to start memorizing lyrics better. If you give me what is mine, I will go. If I can have your blessing. But if you won't bless my journey, I'm gonna leave anyway. Son, I've always tried my best for you. But if you must be leaving home, then go with the blessings of God. Not too many days later, I was well on my way. I met a traveling stranger who seemed to have much to say. He told me tales of the city and all the women he'd had. I said, wasn't that sinful? He said, no, it isn't that bad. I finally found some employment feeding pigs on a farm. I named one of them Wilbur. And then I had a BLT. over. I would truly need nothing more. And I will go and say to him, I'm no longer worthy of being your family. Will you take me as your servant and let me live with them? I was near home, inside of the house. My father just dead, dropped open his mouth and ran up the road and fell to my feet and cried and cried. Father, I've sinned, having the shame. I'm no longer worthy to bear your name. I know that my home is right where you are. Father, take me. Bring the best robe, put it on my son. Shoes for his feet, hurry, put them on. My son is dead, is now alive. Prepare a feast, for my son's alive. I prayed and prayed, never heard a sound. My son was lost, but thank you, God, he's found. And it's the only time I ever saw him run. 'Cause when he ran to me, took me in his arms, held my head to his chest and said, my son's come home again. Looked in my face, wiped the tears from my eyes, and forgiveness in his voice. He said, son, do you know I still love you? And it's the only time I ever saw him run. When God ran to me. That was not the same song. Two songs, splice alert. I think that second was Benny Hester. Yeah. I met Benny Hester once. And, yeah. Didn't meet Keith Green, unfortunately, but sometimes we just gotta go for it, you know? Cast caution to the wind. And you know, again, it doesn't mean we don't seek God. But we do. We seek God. We search for Him with all of our hearts. We go for Him. But sometimes we got to just say, okay, God, I'm going to jump, and I believe this is You, and I'm going to go for it, and go for it. So we're gonna watch a clip. Finish this up. I've sampled a couple different things, so we'll see who sues me first, Keith Green or Steven Spielberg. But the movie is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I love the ending, where the ending's pretty awesome, but where Indiana Jones has to take a leap, and that's what this is. This walk by faith and not by sight. All right. It says, and Jesus says, I think to Thomas, He says, "You believe because you've seen, but blessed are those who believe and yet have not seen." It's easy to say, oh yeah, of course, of course I'll jump in the pool. Once I've tried it out, put my toes in water, get my swimsuit on, take off my dress shoes. I mean, of course, but sometimes we just gotta go for things. Go for things in life. Go for the gusto. I mean, don't be stupid. In the trail life that my kids are in, one of the leaders would say, live dangerously, or live dangerous but not carelessly. Take chances. It doesn't mean you take chances by play Frogger across a freeway. Not those kind of chances, okay? But take chances. Apply. Just random a little bit. I'm not going to do it again. Okay, I'm totally doing it again. Right now, I've got this letter I'm writing to a president of a country. It's not our country, by the way. But I'm like, why not? You know, go for it. But I've gone for it at times, and I'm getting more confidence as I get past my teenage years. And so just go for it. But and you know, it's funny. I kind of, I was like, what was I thinking? But I've written letters. I've sent out resumes to directors in Hollywood and London and Colorado and Missouri. I mean, people that have no idea who I am and probably still don't know. But I'm like, you know what? You got to go for it. Who knows? Maybe you swing at this and God says, okay, and boom, you hit. And the crazier things have happened. But I can guarantee you, if you sit on your duff and watch the world go by you, you will succeed at exactly that. As I used to tell my kids, my students, if you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, something about stars. You land among the stars. I totally ripped it from somebody else, okay? It's not a deep quote of my own, but we got to go for things at times and just take that leap of faith and watch this clip. Shalom.